Zero Waste Business Council and the Earth Resource Foundation. Stephanie brings over 20 years experience in employee company training, management consulting, sales, business networking, relationship development.
That's me.
She received her Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from San Diego State. It's a lot here, so I'm going to skip down a little bit. She has been a member of the Green LA since its inception and actively partners with numerous LA-based nonprofits and for-profit organizations. Along with her many champions for zero waste, Ms. Barger has formed U.S. Zero Waste Business Council in January 2011 to meet the growing need of educational resources, peer-to-peer networking, and third-party certification for businesses across the nation. Stephanie, come on up.
So I'm very honored and privileged to be here today because this organization belongs to all of you. We've all been working for many, many, many years to get these programs out, and it's almost the perfect storm right now. The recession was not a good thing, but it really sparked businesses to really look at their trash and what they were throwing away and how they were being wasteful, not only with their resources, but to be more efficient with human energy, if you will. So, like Stephen said, we formed U.S. Zero Waste Business Council in January of 2011, and our mission is to educate, inform, and document the performance of zero waste businesses using scientific methods to help businesses and communities become more healthy and sustainable. And I just want to thank our board. We have many of our board members here: Sue, Gary, Bob, Stephen, Rick, Angela, and Andrea aren't here, but we just really appreciate all of their efforts. Mike, Carey, and we were able to really pull together, this is probably 250 years of zero waste experience. So it's a great body. We are always looking for more board members and volunteers to help us out and keep this organization strong and growing. We also have collaborated with many organizations through our workshops, our conferences, and just our years and years of working on it. And I think it's really exciting what CRRA, has done with the training programs, because it really adds that second level. We're here to work with businesses and certify businesses, but we need people to train to work in the businesses, to go out and help them get to the next level, to work in and with our haulers and our recyclers to move from our old way of doing business to a zero waste economy. So why are we here? To certify businesses. I think most importantly is to create a zero waste economy. And Gary always used this term, businesses leading the way. And it was really the businesses that, number one, inspired us to do this. And we've all worked in our communities and our schools and with volunteers and, elected officials. It can take a very long time to move things forward. And what I love about working with businesses is once they embrace zero waste, they can go from 0 to 75% in 6 months, in a year. They can go to 90% in less than 2 years, and they save millions and millions of dollars, and they change marketplaces. So if we want people to buy post-consumer recycled paper, you get a Disney and a Boise and an Office Max to form a collaboration and close the loop and just create the whole cycle and the demand for it. So that's really what we're embracing, and that's our motivation to keep this moving forward. And also in my years of consulting with businesses, that's their biggest hurdle. Most businesses want to do the right thing. Like most people want to do the right thing, but we've all called up that 800 number. We've all called up our hauler and said, well, we want to recycle. Oh, don't worry about it. We've called up our city, nobody calls us back. And so, or you have your boss or whatever says, oh, don't bother, that's not important, that's going to cost too much. And we hear all kinds of crazy things. Recycling takes more energy, more water, it doesn't work. And so This is just a great opportunity to support our businesses and help break down those barriers, and more importantly, put in the infrastructure that's needed. And it's just really, like I said, a privilege and a pleasure to work with all of you and move us into that zero waste economy. So we're having conferences. We're having our third one this year in Atlanta. So I hope you all come out. It's supposed to be the best time of year. Somebody was explaining to me that April and May and September and October are summer in Atlanta, and June, July, and August is just hell. So, and that was from a local lady. So advocating for a zero waste economy, and of course providing all the educational tools and resources. So we want to be that clearinghouse. We don't want anybody to have to spend time researching and going through the school of hard knocks when we've got somebody that's already perfected the system. So one of the things that we're working with the Sustainability Council of Southern California is putting together a comprehensive toolkit so business can pick it up and use it in their cafeteria, use it for working with their haulers, using it for leadership and moving it forward, citing local food, etc. And then, really as we develop, getting very specific for retail, for hospitality, for events, because each industry has its own challenges. And then eventually, hopefully, certification for communities. And then chapters around the U.S. and internationally. I think our first request for a chapter is Kauai, which isn't a bad place to kick it off, so we're looking forward to that. And then the businesses, like I said, really the ones that are pushing us. And actually in June of 2010, it was we got a bunch of calls from our businesses, and they said, hey, we're zero waste, or we're claiming zero waste to landfill, or we're over that 90%, but there aren't any standards. And a lot of companies don't even want to talk about their zero waste efforts because they don't want to be accused of greenwashing. And so that is really the gap that we fill, and what we're trying to fill is to set these national standards so people can be comparing apples to apples and really getting that going. So we have a wide array of businesses, and I think that's what's really great is, everything from the breweries, and I love beer and wine, and, to manufacturing, to little tiny companies. And this applies to everybody. We had a lot of people saying, well, Toyota can do that. Well, I have 2 rooms in our office, and we have 2 people, and we're zero waste. And so sometimes in a small company, you actually have more advantages because your leadership is you. You don't have to go through corporate purchasing and everything. So huge potential. 71% of businesses want to be known as environmentally sustainable through their strength and goodwill. So certification. So like I said, what the difference between recognition and certification, and really setting those different levels, because we are not about diversion. We're about going upstream. We're about reducing, reusing, refusing, redesigning, remembering, retraining, working on that, and establishing the best practices, not reinventing the wheel, and working through all of those. Right now, there's lots of green certifications out there, but not one specifically for zero waste. And that's what the gap is that we're filling. Our why? Because we want to create a solid foundation that advances the integrity and credibility of zero waste. And rallying around the brand, fighting the brand. What does zero waste really mean? And we need your things. We really need your help in making it very strong. So, Bruce, we need those strong definitions. Mine is no waste to landfill incineration or the environment. And the environment includes our bodies and the health issues. So we're focusing on that also. So this is just an array. I'm plagiarizing the U.S. Green Building Council because they're a very, very successful business model. So regardless of their certification, they're a very smart, large nonprofit. And that's Gary's going to
string that's doing it.
Right.
There we go. And then also making it familiar to people. So we want to keep things familiar. What they were talking about in CRRA and training is basically your lead AP as you're getting your CRRA certification, and we're working with the businesses. So we support the definition of CWA. We're driving the market, creating new markets, meeting the requests from zero waste businesses, focusing on the upstream policies and practices, and emphasizing total participation. That is how you have success and sustainability in your company when every single employee is empowered. From the janitorial to the mailroom to the secretary to all your C-level offices, to your vendors and to your customers. We need everybody to be able to participate and to benefit from it. So Whole Foods, we took the GRN and CWA recognition and turned it into certification. So we were working side by side and just a little with CWA. We were working on our certification and there were some requests from out of the country saying, where's the business recognition? So that's why they moved forward very quickly on the business recognition. We were part of that and now we're ready and we will be launching our full certification. So when we come into a business, we go in and we of course create or collect all the documentation up front from their waste bills or recycling bills, sometimes their energy bills, their purchasing bills. It's basically like your CPA coming in and auditing your books. So we're gonna do it, collecting documentation, then we're gonna come on site. And I wanna know that your secretary and your mailroom know what zero waste is. I wanna know how they're implementing zero waste. I'm gonna go back and dig through your trash in your recycling bin. I'm going to go in the offices and see what is in your bins. And more importantly, we're gonna make sure who are you sending it to and how are they handling your waste, your trash, your recycling, and your composting, and what the level of contamination is. And I'm getting my hurry up. So the little things matter. And then another thing is just building the brand. We do a lot of public relations with our companies and making sure they're able to celebrate that. So the 3 Whole Foods stores we did in San Diego, we brought in the local business district, we brought in the local officials, we brought in the local media to really help them celebrate that and showcase and make people really feel good about what they're doing. So on the 7th and 8th, we have our 3rd conference, Laura Turner, Ted Turner's daughter, but Google her, amazing, amazing woman, amazing work that she's doing. And then we are having a membership drive. We need you to support us. So this is a critical, critical year for us to move forward, and you get lots of benefits from being a member. Plus, you're going to be at the founding of this incredible movement. In 5 years, 10 years from now, you can say, I was a part of that. I helped start that. I helped change the world. And that's what we're looking to do. So we do have a big announcement. We've been working really, really hard. And Sue Beats, our certification chair and our board member, is going to come up now and talk about our 4-level full certification program that is going to take us beyond 90% and really focus on that upstream and help our companies create jobs, save tons of money, and transform us into the new zero waste economy. So with that, Ms. Sue Beats. Oh. Okay.